love it, live. Good morning, watchers, lurkers, stalkers, and people who just don't want to make themselves known. I know you're all here today to see the wonderful Michelle Kehoe of Leaf Organic CBD.
That's correct.
Oh, I got it right that time. I'll tell you what, I'm sure I couldn't, even though I'd written it down and everything else. When I went to say it this morning, I was like, why are my false teeth wobbling? Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. We met at Connect Like a Boss around about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a one-to-one, and you blew me away with your outstanding amazingness.
Bless you, thank you.
I said, you know something, that girl, she's going places. She is.
Maybe to the foot of the stairs at the moment, no further than the.
No. Listen, man, you've got corners, man. And the thing is, what was nice is that you were kind of unsure as to how you were kind of doing, and then we had a look, and it turned out you're doing bloody well. So, I've
been learning. You taught me a new skill. You taught me how to look at Google. I'm learning all these new skills.
Well, the thing is, it allows you now to have a look at, well, what is the effect of my work been this week or this month, and it allows you to then see, well, what's the best path for me to get awareness, traction, customers, and then it just means you're only focusing on that.
What I need to.
Boom, that's it. But before we start, Michelle, we have to do a pose. We have to do a pose for my YouTube thumbnail. So,
right.
After three, I want you to give me your best pose. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Should we do a crazy one as well?
Go on, let's do a crazy one as well. Then go on. I'll tell you what. Hold on.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I knew this was going to be fun.
I have this thing about, I don't know what it is. I just like to put on a wig. What is wrong with me? Is it because I'm follically challenged?
I just go for it. I embrace any kind of isms because that's who wants to be normal. Who wants to?
I tried to be normal for years and it never bloody works.
No, it's not good. Made me mental.
I just go with my flow now. Right, before we start, we've had one comment coming already. Who's that? Let me turn that down. Hey Natasha Gordon, hope you're well, honey. You and Michelle will be speaking. She has something that I think you will like to suck. But anyway, we won't say any more about that. Right, let me get the questions up. Boom. Right, I know you're a busy lady, so let's dive straight in. So Michelle, obviously I didn't do your business justice this morning when I tried to say what you do. So I want you to tell the people watching what you do for a business.
So then, Scylla, my name's Michelle. I'm from Manchester. I always love that. They say, what's your name and where'd you come from? So my business is Leaf Organic CBD, and CBD is a food supplement. I am an independent company and I've created my brand because I discovered CBD about 5 years ago for my own wellness journey. What I did discover was most of the CBD out there, or CBD even, was rubbish quality, being hocked around at amazing, ridiculous prices, and even more rubbish science information. And what's worse, they were hocking it as this is the be all and end all. And the ethics in the industry were shoddy. Yeah. And there is legislation out there, but people weren't following it. And I moaned about this. And as my knowledge grew, because I come from a sports and science background, my wonderful husband, I'm going to paraphrase, said to me, please be quiet, darling. Stop moaning. Or do something.
I'm sure that his French was better than that.
It was amazing. That was the PC version. And then I went, you're on. If you throw me a challenge, I'll do it. And I've been really lucky because he's so supportive. So I gave up my job as a consultant in sales, and I did old school sales, and I invested an awful lot of our savings. And here we are now.
Boom. So when you say your CBD is for, you say health and wellness?
Wellness. I'm not allowed to make medical claims, but there are lots of things that CBD has shown to help with that range from anxiety, stress, sleep, inflammation, pain perception, hormone control, skin disorders, you name it, it seems to help with. But there is science why it helps with so much.
Yeah.
And I can bore you with the science. I find it utterly fascinating. But there is actual science out there of why it helps. But getting the quality of the product, one, you've got that with me, getting your dosage right and the timing is paramount, and that's
So
where my knowledge comes in.
I mean, the thing is, you know, it's quite interesting what you're saying. Give us a little bit of science behind it. One more. Hi, Karen Bourne. Thanks for joining us home. Give us a little bit of the science behind it, because I think a lot of people, when they think of CBD, they think of
cannabis. You got to get high.
Some guy with a big lung, whatever they're called these days, and you know, I mean,
so CBD is from the cannabis plant, but not the cannabis plant as you know it. The cannabis, there's loads of species of cannabis plant, but the one that we use is a combination of sativa and indica, mainly sativa. Now that has a cannabinoid profile of lots and lots of cannabinoids, not just CBD, and THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is the bit that gets you high. So to put that into perspective, so it's made, when it's grown, the plant is checked, and at cultivation it's tested. And if it has less, well, particularly in the UK, less than 0.2% THC, it can be made into industrial hemp. Now, industrial hemp makes CBD, clothes, you've probably heard of hemp powder, hemp oil, all that kind of thing. If it's above 0.2%, in the rest of the world, it's 0.3. It's then classed as marijuana, which is illegal. Now, so that's the difference. Now, to get high or stoned, whatever you want to call it, you need 20 milligrams, there or thereabouts, in one sitting to get high, drunk, whatever you want to call it. In an average joint, there's about 150 milligrams. In one of my bottles legally, to allow that to be, so you see how tiny that is, that'll last you about a month. Some of my bottles last 3 months. There is less than 1 milligram. And that 1 milligram you will take over the whole time. So no, you won't get stoned, you won't get high, you won't get sedated, you won't get the munchies, but THC has amazing health properties in microdose. It's just been demonized. So that's your science of where it comes from. So yes, it is the cannabis plant.
Wow. And I think, you know, hearing you say that, and looking at how governments have regulated all this, and then understanding that, hold on a second, this is a plant which was created by, we'll say God to make it nice and easy.
Oh, Mother Earth.
Mother Earth is a natural plant which has been put on this earth to, I suppose, help the people or
feed. It feeds you, it can clothe you, and it's a medicine. Wow. I'm not allowed to say that, but it's so.
And the scary thing is, it's been so demonized that people probably don't realise that this is something which will replace your Nurophens, your bloody Gaviscons, all the medications that you're on. So, and it's natural, it's grown. It's like, it's not like chemicals put to it or anything like that. I mean, so that's amazing.
We could go on about the big pharma debate. So to patent, to put it into perspective, to patent a product, so your Nurophens of the world, it has to go through lots and lots of testing, and it can cost millions and billions of pounds to do that, but then it's patented. Yeah. And then that pharmaceutical company can make a load of money. This is where, you know, we talk about the jabs at the moment, your vaccines. So they're doing that at cost. So they're not making any money.
Yeah, of course they are.
So the problem, but they will do. They will do.
Of course they will.
The R&D in that will have cost millions and millions. However, you cannot patent a plant. So if you do all the research and development, you can't make any money, because that research and development is there for everybody. So the pharmaceutical companies are trying to make a synthetic version of CBD.
Yeah, but that ain't going to be synthetic, because it's chemicals. It's chemicals.
Well, there you go. That's the big pharma debate. We'll save that for another day. But there is lots of research coming out. So to go on to the next side of how CBD interacts with your body, CBD is a phytocannabinoid, which just means it's from the plant and it replicates our own cannabinoids. Every mammal.
Yes, because we have cannabinoids, don't we?
We do. Yes. We do. So every mammal, dog, cat, this is why it helps with pets as well. Every human has an endocannabinoid system. And that is a neural processing system. And it has lots of receptors through your body that CBD interacts with. So we're not sure whether CBD increases your cannabinoids, it makes them more abundant, or it makes the receptors more receptive. We also know that it stops certain enzymes called FAAH metabolizing those cannabinoids. So it has, one of them is anandamide, which is your bliss hormone. That's why when you take CBD, you feel peaceful, calm immediately. But what it also does is it allows your body to send the right signals off, tell your body to produce pain, to switch pain off, reduce inflammation, switch inflammation off. It works with your endocrine system, which is your glands, hormones. It helps hormone production. I describe it as the conductor of the band. It tells, your endocannabinoid system tells you go louder, you go quieter, you switch on, you switch off. But that system becomes crap, basically, as we age, stress, environmental factors, and as we age, that's the biggest thing. So if you top it up with CBD, it allows that system to work correctly, create homeostasis. So rather than our bodies coming up with these weird and wacky illnesses and all things that go wrong, our body starts to balance and thrive and creates a feeling of well-being. And that's what people report the most. So there's your science, and I will not bore you with any more.
Can I just say at the end of all that, boom!
I haven't even touched on it yet.
Now, listen, people watching, if you didn't know about CBD before, then I'm telling you now, you will know now, because you've just told me stuff which, wow.
Well, that's my knowledge. I know about the science, but I also know about the industry, which is completely separate entity. But there is more to it than that. And that's the difference with me, is that I will teach you the science and allow you to make an educated decision on whether the food supplement of CBD is right for you and your ailment. And then you make a decision.
Fantastic. Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining us. Karen Bourne said years ago you had cannabinoids in food. Cannabinoids in food?
Cannabinoids. So cannabinoids also exist in turmeric. They exist in echinacea. Now, how many times we'll stick a bit of echinacea on that, Bruce?
Yeah.
Cannabinoid. When you exercise, your body, so when you exercise, people say, oh, you create endorphins and that's why you feel good. No, they've now found out endorphins do not cross the blood-brain barrier. What we do know is that when you exercise, you produce more cannabinoids, and they do cross the blood-brain barrier, and that is why you feel fantastic after you finished exercising. Maybe not the first 5 minutes of the run when I question my life and what I'm doing, but an hour afterwards, when all these cannabinoids have sent around my body, that's why you feel amazing. Cold water therapy produces more cannabinoids. Have you heard of Wim Hoffman, that sits in cold water and does all of his mad breathing? That produces more cannabinoids. So we have these ways, breathing techniques, all these things, yoga, all these things are creating more cannabinoids, more feel-good things in your body. So yes, cannabinoids are in our food system, just not in the quantities that it's in.
So there is definitely benefits to having cold showers then, from what you're saying.
Yeah, but I won't do that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
For a bet. Karen Bourne, thanks, Karen. Also said it's great for arthritis.
Oh my God, yes. So arthritis is deemed as an autoimmune condition. So usually it's because it's flaring inflammation.
Yes.
You're never going to stop the arthritis happening, but when you're in an acute phase of arthritis, when it really hurts, it's in a mad phase of inflammation. So CBD will help switch off the inflammation indicators and help with the pain perception. It will not stop the arthritis, but it will stop you having to take painkillers. And as we know, painkillers just mask the issue. So yes, amazing results.
I've got a friend who's had a bad back for more years than he cares to remember, and he started on CBD oil, I think, just before lockdown.
Hopefully you'll be taking mine now.
Well, I'll have a word, but he's completely pain-free. And he does quite intensive labour work as well. So, he swears by the benefits. Bloody hell, Michelle, I'll tell you what, you need to do a training session in the group.
I'll do whatever. I'd answer the question. But no, CBD has a cumulative effect. So the more that you use it, the better the results, because it's a neural processing. It's part of that neural processing. It's like you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
You go to the gym and you get really good at going to the gym.
Yeah.
So when you first start, this is how I say to people, you start couch to 5K. We've all heard of that in lockdown. Yeah. When you start doing your run, you're like, oh my God, I can't do it. By the end of the 5K program, you're running 5K. Think of CBD that way. It isn't a fix overnight. It gets better the more you take it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So wow, I'm blown away.
I am a science geek. I need a science geek hat. I may be a giddy kipper, but there is science in my head.
Again, Karen says she swears by CBD. She would not be able to walk without it.
Yeah.
So Karen, it's definitely worth you speaking to Michelle, because it may be that her product will allow you to even start running.
Because I don't just have the oils, I don't just have these babies, I have body lotions and bath salts, and I never sell anything that's a gimmick. I only sell stuff that works. I don't sell vape products because I don't believe in vaping. And I don't sell gummies because I think the connotations with children, it's wrong.
Yeah.
And who wants to put chemicals in your system?
Julie Allen asked, you mentioned pets. Should I give my dog that has arthritis CBD? She was a rescue from the kill shelters in Romania, so outside in the cold, bless her.
Yes, I give it to my dog. So I am not allowed to sell pet products, but if you choose to give your pet CBD, it works in exactly the same way, but we need to look at the dosage.
The dose.
So the average dose for an average human, and I know nobody's average, for the class an average person is 10 stone. Balls to that. Over
10
lockdown,
what? 10
we're all
stone?
85 stone.
I think that was when I was about 9 or 10. I mean, good grief.
Yeah. So 10 stone of body weight is 25 milligrams there or thereabouts. So that will help you gauge what your dog is. But give me a call, phone up, have a consultation with me. But look at the natural one, and I'll teach you ways of. So my dog, I put it in almond oil because he doesn't like it neat. I put the natural one in. He loves almond oil because it's sweet, and he comes and laps it up. And then also you can rub it down. He has contact dermatitis under his arm, so we rub it under him as well.
Oh, bless.
Whole family's on it.
Karen Bourne, she uses the oil and cream. She doesn't like the internal oils.
Perfect. So, no, there's CBD. There is lots of ways of using it, so you don't just have to take it. I have capsules. I have tea. I have the oil, but I also have topical products as well. So yeah, get her to give me a call. Karen, call me. I'll sort you out.
And Julie says she'll definitely get in touch, and thank you very much.
Oh,
this is fantastic. Hey. So Michelle, something must have inspired you to do this. Why? What was your inspiration?
So I discovered CBD about 5 years ago because of my own mental health journey. I was really poorly with mental health. I struggle with anxiety and panic attacks, and I had been for 15 years.
Oh, bless.
I had a life-changing event, and then a subsequent loads of different things happened. And I won't bore you with that story because that's for another day. And it affected my mental health. I know exactly when it happened. I was diagnosed with PTSD, OCD, and chronic panic attacks. And I went down to 7 stone. I couldn't leave the house. I got a stammer. That's something I had a really bad time in January for one reason or another. And my stammer came back. Now, you wouldn't recognize me and what I do now. And part of my wellness journey, I ran to the doctors and I was put on medication because I needed to sleep. Basically, I hadn't slept for 2 years. And well, I had, but anyway, that's another story.
Very, very bitty.
And I needed medication, and I ran to the doctor. So I still believe you should go to see doctors. I got cognitive behavioural therapy, I had psychotherapy, and I put all of those things and put them to bed and dealt with them, and that was great. But I couldn't get off these basically anti-anxiety medication. Every time I come off, I'd crash and be worse than I was before. And after about the 3rd time, I went, I can't keep doing this. What is missing from my body? I exercise, I eat well, I've learned meditation, I've reduced and got rid of toxic things out of my life. And when I say that, I mean people and situations. And I'm very strict on my sleep, and I won't put up with bullshit behaviour in my life. I get rid of people. And
I like you, Michelle. You're so cool.
Say it as it is. This is me. If I don't like it, I'll bloody tell you. But I won't be rude about it. I'll just say no. If you've upset me, I'll say, Nigel, that really upset me. I'll tell you. You then apologise. Go, thanks. Let's move on. I won't hold a grudge.
I've never upset you, Michelle.
No, but if people, this is my other thing. If people apologise and wholeheartedly believe it, move on. Then it's you that's got the issue. If you keep bringing it up, dickhead. Anyway, there we go. This is part of my therapy. But
Northern women, to say it as it is. I love it. Absolutely. Carry on, sorry.
So part of this, I kept crashing, and I don't know what is missing. And I discovered CBD, and it was the missing piece of the puzzle. It's allowed me to come off all my medication. Sorry, the dog's joining in downstairs. He's probably seen a squirrel. So yeah, it for me was life-changing. And that's how it got me involved in it. But then I discovered, like I said, that not all CBD is equal. And the industry, I hated the industry. So I am here to change the industry and make it ethical.
Have you made, obviously because you are kind of going against the people who aren't providing the value that you offer, have you found that people are getting a bit snipey? Some of your competitors maybe getting a bit snipey, or have you not? They are. Oh, bless them.
Quite recently.
Jealousy.
Now, I don't know everything, I am learning all the time, and I'm sure I say things wrong and put things in the wrong. I am not a neural scientist. I am Michelle that runs around in the mud. This is stuff I've learned.
Yeah.
But when I do, I learn and I try and get it right, and I try and be as honest as I can. But what I'm starting to do is get a reputation that I'm ethical. I provide great quality CBD, and I do my best to provide that.
That is the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, someone who has a problem with you being in the same space as them, it's more about them than you.
There's enough. There is enough business out there for everybody. I've had a local lady who has basically tried everything she can to try and not. She's tried to kick me out of groups, and luckily those groups have said no, we don't kick people out. That's not how we do business, because they're ethical. I've had her trying to report me saying that I'm a bully, when actually I've had to block her from Facebook because she's a loon. But I just stick in my own lane. So that's one. I've had somebody else who's copied all of my content while I was on a networking call, copied my content and then put it in and said, can everybody share it? And I just thought, do you know what? If you want to do that, copy my content, because you'll never be me.
Absolutely.
I've recently had a run on, somebody tried to ban me from Twitter because they said I was spamming. I've then dealt with that and said no. On the same time, I got a fake review on Google. And I then said on this person, I said, really sorry, can you contact the office because I have no sales record for you? However, I did, and then I answered it, but it allowed me to tell people what I did, offer free consultations. So don't be bitter. Deal with it as you would, which is polite and ethical. So do you know what? The fact I'm pissing people off, bring it on.
And you heard it here first, guys.
I bring it on because I do it correctly. Yeah, and I make a mistake. I may say something wrong, but you know what? I'll apologise and then deal with it. That's part of business. You fail, you learn, you move on.
Absolutely.
But if I'm pissing competitors off, I am doing something right.
Well, what you're doing is you're probably showing up their inefficiency, or the fact that for them it's all about the sale and not the education, because most certainly, because of what you offer, because of the kind of perception from 90% of the population around CBD and everything else, the fact that you're going out of your way to educate people, that's a step further than most of the people are doing, which is where, you know, that's why people are copying your content.
And some people, you know, are selling really, really cheap products, and people in this industry know that cheap isn't the best. And also with my products, you're not just paying for the product, you're paying for everything else that comes with it. You're paying for me and my education. And I just kind of think that, yeah, I would be wrong to say I don't have a look at what my competitors do. Of course I do. I find out what the pricing is. Oh, that's a good idea. Or, you know, look at that and look at what they're doing to keep me on my toes, because you want to be surrounded by good people, because they bring you up, they make you better at your job.
Absolutely.
An old running analogy, when I used to sprint, stick in your own lane and don't look at your competitors, because the minute you turn around and look, your running goes off. Carry on with business. I don't give a rat's ass what they're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. All's to them.
I love this lady. Guys, I love this lady. She's so, like, just says it how it is. Obviously, you've told us, you've touched on some of the challenges that you had prior to the business. And, you know, again, inspirational that you've come back from that, because there'll be a lot of people who are maybe going through what you went through with the anxiety and the kind of depression and the kind of negative self-talk, and the fact that you've come through that, you're on the other side and you're giving it all, man. You're like, there. No one would ever be able to put that picture on you now. There's no one who could say, oh yeah, it's almost like a fairy tale that you were in that state 5 years ago, and the person you are now.
Recently in January, I'm just going to shut the door because the dog is doing my head in.
Oh, bless him or her.
Him, Dexter. Dexter.
Oh yeah, because my dog's called Dexy. I remember us laughing about that before.
Dexter, the big beastie. Even January, a couple of things had happened. End of Christmas, lockdown blues, whatever you want to call it. We all know January was like the longest month ever. It felt like a year. It was depressing as depressing can be, and my head fell off literally, but I wasn't as bad as I was. And I go on a really nice Friday morning call with Simon Cox, you probably know of the Let's Talk, and we have a really closed group. And I went on that call, and one day literally couldn't speak. I was crying, and my stammer had come back, because I trusted them to see me as I was.
As you was.
Because they know that, you know, it's not all plain sailing. I am not like this all the time. Some mornings I get up and I go, can't be asked, I'm going to sit in pajamas all day, when I sweat, stink like an old lady. And then I'll drink a bottle of wine, which you probably shouldn't do. And then I wake up in the morning and go, oh, what a dick. And I get on with it. And then there are other days where I go, I am a warrior. I'm going to stab my competitors in the eye. And there's everything in between that. And as a business owner, we would be wrong to say that we are strong all the time. It's like the waves. It comes and it goes. And some days on the beach, it's great. And other days, it's like a fucking tsunami.
We are all human.
Yeah.
The only way that you can say that you're unaffected by anything is if you're not human, because I have my days, I have my moments, I have my weekends where it's like, social media, but
there's some days where I want to flip the desk over.
Yeah, but the thing is, you'd never know, because I'm not the kind of guy who's going to say, oh, I'm not going to come online and say, oh, I'm down. It's hard.
No,
that's my thing for me to deal with, not for the rest of the world.
I think as well, if you go, do you know what? And it also, you might have one rubbishy hour. I don't mean the rest of the day is going to be rubbish.
Absolutely.
I just think if the majority of the time, 99% of the time, I am happy, upbeat, and in control and doing what I'm doing. But then you do have these things that come in your head. Oh God, I'm not doing this. I can't do that. Oh, why am I doing this? It's when those self-doubt things become 90% of the time you need to question, do I need help? Do I need to get somebody in? Or do I actually leave this thing that I'm doing? Whether it's your business, your job, whatever, the dog shouting at the squirrels. That's when you need to be having a conversation with yourself. But the majority of the time I'm pretty upbeat and I'm fine, and I'm the princess warrior with my staff in the hand.
I can imagine you as like some kind of Xena warrior type princess.
Hey, like, I had a regression therapy, and that's exactly what I was.
What, some ancient bloody Anglo-Saxon warrior?
No, I was in the Amazon. I was like some mad Amazon princess warrior, and I was the head of the tribe.
Jeez.
That's why I keep,
I can kind of see that.
It was
I don't know why. I can see a band around your head.
That's exactly what it was.
Some kind of sword and a shield.
Yeah, it was amazing. Other than that, or the hypnotherapy girl that did proper trip me out and gave me something trippy in my coffee. But who knows? It was amazing. I reckon everybody needs to go for hypnosis. It is phenomenal.
I'm scared to think what I might have been. Stephanie Barnard. Hi, Steph. Thanks for joining us, hon. She uses CBD tan and it's amazing.
CBD what?
CBD tan.
I've not heard of that one. As in tanning your skin, or as in the brand? I've not heard of that.
I believe so. I'm sure she'll tell us in a minute.
Yeah.
She says, totally, guys, you can have a low day. Just don't unpack your case there. Yeah.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Well, come and try my products, because my products are ace.
Ooh.
And they taste amazing. Mine's one of the best tasting ones on the market. And I'll explain why.
Tanning your skin is
well, I haven't got that. I just go in the sun and then use my CBD afterwards for helping my skin reduce.
Aftercare.
Yeah. So this is gold. You see how it is actually golden?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different types of CBD. There's raw CBD that tastes like the bottom of the bin. Now this has a second level of distillation. So it actually it's decolibrized. I think that's the correct way of saying it. I am dyslexic. So basically it has a second level of heat applied, which makes it more stable and taste so much better, which means you can hold it under your tongue longer. Have this one, peppermint and a lemon. But this you can add to your own. This talks about if you can buy, doing a sales pitch. This is great. This is a body oil that you can use after when you've been in the sun. It smells amazing, great for your skin, because it is CBD for your skin's amazing. However, do not go and buy another face care product. Literally, get your face cream at night, add 1 or 2 drops into your cream, wallop it on your face. You get the added benefits of the CBD, anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, great for spots, great for psoriasis, just general skincare. But you don't have to switch from your favourite skincare product, because all ladies, I do, we all have our favourite creams, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do. We do have our favourite creams.
We do have our favourite creams. So, and also, there's been some really high brands, and I won't mention the names in case we get sued, but there are some companies that sell, and some really big companies, body shop, that will be selling CBD, and they sell it as CBD cream. When you look at it, every CBD product should tell you how many milligrams are in it. There's no milligrams on it. I don't understand. When I looked at the ingredients, it was cannabis sativa seed oil, also known as hemp seed oil. Hemp oil is my suspended oil that you put the CBD in, which basically means you are buying very expensive hemp oil. Hemp oil for food grade quality is cheap as chips. That has hemp oil in it, but it has 500 milligrams of CBD. That's what you're paying for.
Right.
So basically, you're doing very, very clever marketing, and you are not getting the cannabinoid profile that helps. So if you buy another product, I think there was one for Marks and Spencer's, they've done one, and there was one in Aldi, which was a hand cream, which was, and my friend, I bought a hand cream for £4, and I went, you cannot buy CBD for £4. And when we looked at it, she went, oh my God, I've just bought hemp oil, haven't I? I went, yeah, use it, but add mine now into the lovely hand cream you've bought, and then
it'll make you better.
The cannabinoid profile.
And again, this is what I'm talking about. When it comes to education, honestly, you're sharing so many pearls of wisdom here, which people won't have even considered. Because there'll be a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm trying CBD, whatever. But they won't actually know the massive benefits and the educational part behind it. Honestly, Michelle, absolutely fantastic. Tell us about some of the challenges that you've had when you set the business up.
Oh, there's hundreds in my industry and they never stop. So first of all, we talk about legislation. There is legislation out there. Everything that I do has to follow MHRA guidelines. Now, everybody knows about that now because of our Wallopy jabs. Yeah. By the way, get your jab. I'm an advocate for them because I understand what companies have to go through to be MHRA approved.
Oh.
So everything on this has to have a childproof top. Oh, by the way, anything you buy in CBD comes in a brown bottle because UV light will degrade the quality of the product. So if you're buying a CBD that's in a glass bottle, run away. Anyway, there we are. You have to have warnings, the specific health warnings that we need to put on there, which is like tech speak. Yeah. It has to have the milligrams on it, has to have full ingredients. That's one thing that we need to do. I am not allowed to make medical claims. Yeah. On my website, there's always a disclaimer saying this is a food supplement and it cannot contain more than 1 milligram or 0.1% of THC. A lot of companies put 0.2%. It's wrong because under the Misuse of Drugs License Act, it has to be 1 milligram. 0.2 refers to the cultivation. Remember we talked about when you grow the plants. Yeah, yeah. So that would say to me, you don't understand the industry.
Yes.
Lab reports. Show your lab reports. My lab reports cost a lot of money and they are on the website to see. Now, anybody can say they've got a certificate, a lab report. I could say I've got a degree in biochemistry. Show us your certificate. You know, I'm not showing it yet. So unless it's on the website, that's another thing. So lab reports I have to produce. Pay for advertising on Instagram, Google, Facebook. Can't really do. You're not allowed to do. No. Merchant facilities, my card facility, I had to jump through hoops to get that card facility.
Yeah.
Can't take Apple Pay. I'm not allowed to take PayPal. So if you have a company that asks you to pay by PayPal, they are probably not telling their card facility that they're paying, and you'll find that they'll get shut down.
The thing is as well, though, what's so amazing about that is PayPal, American company.
Yeah.
And cannabis is legal and everything over there.
Because all they want to do is make more. Well, there is a backstory behind that. So what PayPal aren't stupid. They'll let you run probably 2 or 3 grand up, and then they'll close your account and keep the money. That's what they've done to other competitors who don't know what they're doing. So when you see that they're taking PayPal, you're like, oh my God, you're just going to get stitched up for 2 or 3 grand because they've not declared you're selling CBD. Things like, you know, Square card payments, I can't get Square. So my merchant facility, I have to pay through the nose for because I have declared exactly what I am selling. So it's correct.
But it protects you because you know that money that goes in is your money. It's not going to get frozen and held on to. Because PayPal are naughty like that. They are very, very naughty like that.
So I'm in charge of my merchant facility. So yes, it's not convenient for the customer, but there's reasons for that. Don't buy off Amazon. Amazon won't allow you to sell CBD products. If you bought CBD off Amazon, you have probably bought very expensive hemp oil dressed up as CBD. So that there's loads of things. There's been a new novel food license act that came in on the 1st of April. So I've had to change some of my labeling, some of my products, how we do business, and all of my products are. You have to apply for a license, which has cost my manufacturer, I think it's £250,000, and I am named on that, so I am compliant. So there's loads of stuff that's
absolutely
coming through.
Loads.
Oh, well, it's not. I should have just sold lipsticks.
Julie, as I said, I don't know what she was answering to. Yes. I tried that one and looked on the ingredients. Oh, I think it was the cream. Yeah. I gave it back to the consultant and got my money back just then. Cheeky marketing. And she's put underneath, give me the leaf. I can imagine her saying that in a Rastaman's voice. Give me the leaf.
Yeah, I can't. If I try and do an accent, I just sound Welsh.
and Stephanie says Stripe is the same when it comes to CBD.
Yeah.
They're a little bit. Wow. Well, I tell you what,
Yeah.
that's an eye opener because that's actually helped me because that has helped me. So I've probably told people about this already, but my favourite question actually: tell us one thing about you that not many people know about, even though I've been talking about it since 9 o'clock this morning.
What about mud running? I've got loads of stuff that people don't know about.
Oh, let's tell us something else then.
I was on Richard and Judy, won £6 grand once.
When?
Yes, when my son was 4 weeks old. There you go.
What year was that?
Oh God, well he's 16, so that long ago.
Bloody hell!
Yeah.
Wow! So you're a TV personality as well.
I got on. You say, do you remember You Say We Pay? Where they used to have the things behind you, used to have to guess.
Oh, I was too busy at work then. I didn't have time to watch TV.
Well, I was sat nursing the baby, bored out of my mind. There is another backstory to that, which I'll share with you on another day. I can't say because I have to sign something. Never allowed. I have to sign a non-disclaimer anyway.
Seriously?
Not with Richard and Judy, but the backstory. But
we'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, I won £6 grand.
And what did you treat yourself to?
Paid for my son's naming day. So that was in 2005. Paid for my son's naming day. I had a big family party. Bought a Karen Millen dress and my husband a Paul Smith shirt and tie.
Oh, you're nice.
What else did you? Probably got pissed.
We like the sound of that.
Yeah, so that's one thing. And a mud run.
Yes, you mud run. You run up mountains and run across valleys and compete in crazy tournaments where you have to run for hours without any kind of rest. And wow. Are you? I mean, I called you a fitness junkie earlier. I mean, would you class yourself as a fitness junkie?
Yeah. Yeah. I probably have an addictive personality, but I don't get addicted to the stuff that's bad for me. I get like obsessed about exercise and stuff. But I used to sprint semi-professionally back in the day.
Yes, you said yes.
So it's been in my blood, fitness.
What was yours? Was it 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters? What was your best personal time?
I can't bloody remember. I'd like to say 21 minutes, but that probably makes me an Olympic athlete.
21 seconds, not 21 minutes.
Yeah, it would feel that'd be now.
I doubt it.
I can't remember, but yeah, I was really good. Yeah, it was really good.
Wow. Honestly, guys, people watching this lady has so many corners to her. We've probably scratched,
more round now.
we've scratched a small smidgen of who she is. So I definitely recommend that you reach out to her and go and get some more of the Michelle Kehoe goodness, because you felt the energy. Anyone who's watched this, I know how you're feeling now. You're feeling absolutely fantastic because you've listened to her. So, anyone watching this on replay, reach out to Michelle. What 3 bits of advice would you give somebody who wanted to who was crazy enough to want to start a business right now?
Research. That's the biggest one. Workflow. I like a bit of workflow.
Ooh,
Get your T's and C's in order, because when you do start business, you'll find your T's and C's and everything else, and you dotted the I's and crossed the T's. When it comes to reality of running the business, it's still a load to do, but put it in place. Well, I proved the point in January when I wasn't feeling great. I basically took 6 weeks out. Yeah. And my business carried on making money exactly the same because I put all the procedures
the processes in place.
So research a workflow procedure and stick in your own lane.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Can I add another one in? Because it's a saying that my brother always says, because he loves this music and he loves these vinyl records. Cut your own groove.
Oh, is he a DJ or?
No, he just likes music. Cut your own groove.
I like that.
Yeah, cut your own groove.
And it's such a true statement, because if you think about it, a lot of people spend so much time worrying about external factors like, the competition, or the girl down the road's doing it cheaper than me, I can't have that. And the reality is, your journey is your journey. You are who you are. If you make sure that when you're out there, you're representing yourself in your best possible light, then people will naturally come to you. some people won't. They might say, "Oh well, you know that Michelle, she," and then, but the cherry pies, I have always said ever since I've been inside, the cherry pie is big enough for everybody.
Yes, and you attract your own tribe, and there are certain people that will never be attracted to me for whatever the reason, and more than likely I wouldn't get on with them, so I don't want them as customers. And like I say, there is enough people in the world. The biggest thing that when I set my business up, I never set it up to be a millionaire and employ staff.
Yeah.
My why was to create a brand that was ethical and earn a little bit of money for me to, well, supposedly pay for a holiday, but I'm still waiting for that bit. Love a holiday. Pay for a holiday and have more time with my family. That's my why.
Boom, boom.
And somebody else's maybe to make £1 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not in it to make. All I want to do is pay enough to pay the bills, have a holiday when I can, and be able at 3 o'clock to switch my laptop and go. I'm going in the gym because I love my running and my competitions. That's my why. And not the same as somebody else's.
And I think with what's happened with COVID, a lot of people's whys will have changed, especially if they've been on the corporate ladder and they've realised that the corporate doesn't want them, or they've made them redundant, or said, "Oh, we don't need you anymore." It's a bit of a reset for some people, and it does make you realise, well, what is it? Because let's be honest, if you was a millionaire, Michelle, and we had COVID, what would have been different for you?
Nothing. Just lived in a bigger house and cried in a fancier car.
You know, you couldn't go anywhere that you wanted to. You couldn't jump on any plane that you wanted to. You couldn't, all the things that you can do if you have money, you wouldn't have been able to do.
Me gym that I've got wedged in the garage would just be a bit bigger. And I'd have a bit of fancy this and that.
There becomes a point where, like, the money's like, well, it is about quality of life and actually being able to kind of get on with yourself every day, isn't it? Really?
One thing I have discovered, me and my husband actually really quite like each other. That was really quite,
How long have you been married?
Oh, well, no. This year we've been married 20 years and we've been together 27.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, 17 when I met him. Yeah.
Oh,
so we actually have realised we are soulmates. And I know that's really cliche, but as a family we do. Don't get me wrong, I have thrown a couple of cups at him and wanted to shove his head down the bog, but he's probably wanted to do that to me.
That scar there's from a cup. That's another story for
bloody Jamie, you know, that's a, but it's what I call bickering. But I would be wrong to say that I've not annoyed him. I have probably annoyed the shit out of him over lockdown. But fundamentally, we actually get on really well, and I really quite like him.
Bless you.
He paid me 50 quid to say that. So he'll do anything for 50 quid, or a chocolate biscuit.
Yeah, pay you.
But he brings me a coffee every morning. I mean, what more could a girl want?
Well, there it is. He knows. You know, he knows the standard he has to maintain. So that's good. Is there anything that the people watching, who watch on replay, who are watching now, can do to help you with the business?
I'm always looking for stockists who are interested, but I'm very choosy of my stockists, and they tend to be people like hairdressers, salon owners, or health food shops and even gyms are now starting, because of my products, that would be interested to make a residual income. And anybody who has tried CBD or is on a CBD brand who would like to try an independent brand that tastes amazing, is best quality and has me behind it.
I love it.
And or has tried CBD and it's not worked, I will explain why it's not worked and we'll get you dosage and time right. Come and trust me. Let me try and educate you.
I will have a word with my boss. I mean, the wife. She has a condition on her foot which sometimes it swells up and it becomes inflamed, and I think she's tried it before, and like you say, it's a bit hit and miss, because without the knowledge of the education behind it, you just get this bottle and go but having had this conversation with you, she won't have done how much of this is oil and how much of this is, you know, THC. So just got it, done it. And then it's hit and miss as to whether it works 1 month or doesn't. So I think she stopped because it wasn't doing anything.
Because you've not been educated on how to take it.
And
it's about this, you know, when you start on CBD, you've got to give yourself 6 to 8 weeks and be realistic. And then over that time, once we've found what your perfect dose is, like now, I can up and down my dose depending on my workload and my stress and my sleep, how heavy was my training session. Has the dog really done my head in, and if I wanted to murder the children? That will all depend on how much I want to take. And I describe it as a bit like pain relief. Some days you wait, once you know what your dose is, You'll wake up one day and go, oh, I've got a really bad toothache. You take 2 paracetamol, you go, that's enough. And there are other days where you go, my toothache is really bad. I need to take them every 4 hours.
Yeah.
We know that because we've been educated. We can do the same with CBD. You wake up and you go, no, my 4 drops in the morning is fine, but today, I'm taking 4 drops every 4 hours. And that's how you can play with it. So, but I will educate you. So
yeah, fantastic. I could have done with you actually on Monday, because I had toothache, which turned into earache and then headache.
And it's all connected. It's all
I had to write the afternoon off, because I actually thought at one stage I thought I was going to bloody collapse. It was like, and then for the first time in years, I actually took some Nurofen, like 2 tablets, and it did help. But I felt really bad for doing it, because like, don't like taking medication.
You need to take it. Yeah.
But it helped. Right, so Michelle, we're going to have a 5 minutes afterwards. But if you could come back to this video and drop all your links in.
You'll regret saying that.
The social media, the website, your top selling product, any kind of information you've got around the knowledge, the education, put it all in there. People will reach out. Thank you so much today for joining me. You've been absolutely phenomenal. In terms of the knowledge that you shared, it's like, Jesus, mind blown. Most certainly, I'll be looking at CBD in a different way now, because I now feel like I know a lot more about it than I did when I woke up this morning. And I'm not being funny, nobody else who's selling CBD has done that. So, we talk about competition. You've already separated yourself from pretty much 90% of your competition, because they probably haven't gone to the level of education that you have. Therefore, they're just selling a product.
And that's what a lot of them do.
They're not selling the knowledge. Then here's
buy
the product.
This 50 quid, it'll fix your ailments. Buy. That isn't CBD.
Absolutely fantastic. People, thank you so much for watching us. I know I've promised all those people who watch on replay a gift, and I know I haven't given you yet. Don't worry. It's a coming. I know I keep saying that, but honestly, you're going to get a surprise one day. You'll get a link from me and say, here's your gift. And you'll be like, oh my God. Yes, it's coming. Michelle, don't go anywhere. People, thanks for watching. Next week, I can't remember who we have next week. I know we've got Seri Davies on. Oh, I'll tell you what. Let me have a quick check. I can tell you who we've got next week. Next Tuesday, we have... nobody.
Nobody sounds dead interesting.
You may have me. I might just be talking into the camera. I might try and get a special guest on, someone last minute. We'll see what I can do. Michelle, don't go anywhere. People, thanks for joining us. If you're watching on replay, please hashtag replay so I know you've watched. Please feel free to reach out to Michelle. She's going to drop all of her links and comments in links and whatever in the comments. And once again, Michelle, thank you for joining us today. People, I shall see y'all later.